What was the creepiest thing you witnessed that made you believe in supernatural stuff? At the last house we lived in, when the bed in the master bedroom was set up a certain way, some nights it felt like a cat or small dog would jump up and settle in one particular spot toward the foot of the bed. I didn't think too much of it but jokingly mentioned having a ghost cat to my husband one time, only to find out he had been feeling the exact same thing in the same spot. BC of his schedule, we slept at different times. If one has to have a ghost, a sleepy pet ghost is a good choice. I was riding my bicycle down a narrow path. Maybe 30 meters in front of me was an elderly woman also on a bike. I was going fast and catching up to her quickly. I was a couple of meters from passing her when the path took a right turn and she was out of my sight for a second. I should have been right behind her after I, too, had taken the right turn, so imagine my surprise when she had just vanished. There was an open field to the left, a highly fenced-off area, with no gates, to the right and one straight road ahead of us, no trace of her anywhere. I know the area well and there is no way she could have been hidden anywhere. This woman just went poof, and it puzzles me to this day. Hearing a gruff man's voice next to my bed when playing video games with my then current girlfriend. We both heard it. We both lost our shit. When I first married, my grandmother let us live in her old trailer since she had moved but couldn't sell the property. She felt close to my grandfather there. He died in the master bedroom, heart attack. Anyway, my husband was abusive and beating me. One night I ran into the master bedroom and shut the door, but it didn't have a lock. My husband beat on the door for an hour before giving up. It wouldn't open. I'll always believe that was my grandfather helping me. A patient walked out of his ICU room after he had just died and looked around. Out of my peripheral vision. When I turned my head, he was gone. I was in my room and headed to my parents' bedroom. From the edge of my vision I saw my brother sitting on the couch, so I kept walking. Then I remembered my brother doesn't have a shaved head. I looked back and there was no one there. I have a version of sleep paralysis, so as terrifying as it can be, I'm generally pretty used to waking up to seeing things. I was on a road trip with my friend and we were staying in a hotel off of Route 66. I went to sleep before her and she stayed up to watch television on her phone. We turned the lights off and I started to doze off. Every so often, I'd wake up to her panning her phone light to the area in between our beds. After a little while, she got up to go to the bathroom. I woke up once or twice to see a dark figure of a woman standing in between our two beds looking at me. Being exhausted from driving and prone to hallucinating when I sleep, I thought nothing of it. A bit later, I woke up to the sound of a door slamming and my friend crossing the room and climbing into bed. She was laying directly on her side, stiff as a board, staring at me. I yelled, "What the duck, Mary?" and turned on the light. But there was no one there. My scream brought Mary out of the bathroom and I just told her I had a nightmare. Later that night, I woke up again to see the woman standing in between our beds. But this time, she moved over to the desk in the room, seemingly writing something. I quietly said Mary's name, but before I could say anything else, Mary cut me off, asking, "Landon Fontaine, is that you?" We turned on the lights and stared at each other for a minute. She started to ask me what I'd seen, but I cut her off and told her that we were both too tired to get on the road at 3 in the morning and we'd already paid for the room. We slept with the lights on in the same bed for the rest of the night. The next morning as we were driving away, we compared notes. She said she kept flashing her phone light because she kept seeing the shadow of a woman standing between our beds. It freaked her out so much that she went into the bathroom to watch TV with the lights on. She saw the woman walk over to the desk as well. We now both have tattoos commemorating the terrifying road trip from hell. I took a picture of my parents with one of their friends' phone while we were all playing cards one night. Looking at the screen to line up the shot, I saw nothing weird. As soon as I took the pic, an old man in a flannel sweater was standing behind them staring out the window. I wouldn't call it creepy necessarily, just odd. Obligatory background story: my brother passed away a few years back. When my mom and I would visit his grave, a small pinwheel she'd put out there would spin. My mom swore that it would spin any time she'd visit. I never disagreed, as it would be rude to do so. But I didn't believe in anything like that. However, recently, I went to visit him and I guess I was feeling bitter and cynical. So I said something along the lines of, "I'm not an idiot, I know that thing will spin no matter what. You're not here anymore." Mind you, it was windy outside. And the thing just stopped spinning. Just stopped completely. I was shocked and cried for a little bit. I have no idea what it meant, or if I'm thinking about it too hard. Moving shadows that weren't being cast by anything. Creepy. And the way my cat would look at them in utter horror. And anytime the shadow was around, the fire alarm kept going off. Also, speakers that weren't plugged in would start playing static noise. I was 21, looking for a new apartment/room to rent, and had an appointment in the morning to meet a guy I found on Craigslist who was renting out a room. I told my mom that I had an appointment the next day. That night I had a dream that I went to the house. He led me inside and showed me the room, and then when I walked past this stairwell that led to a basement, he pushed me down the stairs. Then he tied me to a bed. I woke up sweaty and obviously freaked out. I looked at my phone and my mom had sent me a text a few minutes before saying, "I'm having a weird feeling, don't go to that guy's house, he's bad." Not sure if supernatural like ghosts or just intuition, but it certainly felt like something was keeping me from going there. I didn't go, obviously. When I was very young, I had an imaginary friend named Samantha. I vividly remember playing dolls and stuff with her and all that kinda stuff. One day when I was like 5 or so, I asked her why she would never be at my mom's. "My parents are divorced and have been forever," and Sam's responded with something along the lines, "I can't, your mother will remember me, don't talk to her about me." And me being young and stupid was just like, okay, smile, and went back to playing with dolls. So after a while I remembered this, when I was out of my imaginary friend stage, and I talked to my mom about it. She got terrified and made me shut up right then and there. After a while longer, we finally talked about it. In high school my mom had a friend who committed suicide, her name was Samantha. After that I've always believed in supernatural stuff. My TV turned on by itself, 3 a.m. and I couldn't turn it off with my remote, had to pull the plug on it. I was watching Hereditary on my laptop at the time. When I was young, probably 10 to 11 years old, I fell sick and my mom let me stay home. I never really slept in my room at that age, always choosing to sleep in my brother's room or my parents' room instead. So as I am homesick, my mom was tucking me into her bed so I can watch TV and she was getting ready to go to work. She kisses me on the forehead, and turns around and makes her way out of the room. When she turns around, instantly the TV sound faded and became a loud humming sound. My jaw dropped and the most overwhelming sense of dread and fear came over me. I have been chased by big dogs, had my legs stuck while underwater, and been alone in the woods while seeing what I thought was a bear, but nothing has ever come close to the fear I felt in this moment with my mom. I don't even understand what caused it. I know when she turned around to leave, the fear started and I can't remember even seeing her leave. My entire senses were wiped to leave me with just fear and dread. Jaw wide open the whole time, when suddenly the fear comes to an abrupt head when the closet door to my left opens, and I suddenly could understand what was going on and that I was scared. Never have I ran faster in my life to my mom, who was just about out the house. That wonderful woman stayed home from work because of how shaken I was. She does remember I always told her to close the doors in any room I was in, always scared me, and that the door was open when she remembers closing it. Not sure if this really fit the question well, but I need to know if this has ever happened to anyone. Nothing triggered my fear, and it was the most overwhelming feeling I have ever felt in my life. Then something scary happened which scared me, but the fear was less overwhelming and I could control what I thought and did. I will never forget this. I woke up to seeing multiple shadows all around me and one on my chest holding my arms down. I woke up the next morning thinking it was a dream until I saw 2 bruises on my wrist like something had been holding them very tightly. I get snippets of future events. It's like walking past a TV that's playing a movie you haven't seen before, and not understanding the context till you actually sit down and watch it. I walked into my bedroom in the middle of the day. It was a normal, sunny day, and all of a sudden there was this flash that went across my bedroom and hit my wooden wardrobe and it made a loud bang noise. Till this day I can't explain what it was. The closest I've come to explaining it is a phenomenon called ball lightning. Does anyone know? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos.